Welcome back to The Joint, guys, where tonight we're going to continue yet again our Christmas tobacco series, so stay tuned for this. Alright, guys, welcome back to The Joint, where it is video number 3 out of 5 winter/Christmas/holiday/seasonal tobacco videos reviews whatever the crap you want to call it. We're just having fun dressing up for Christmas and, putting Christmas lights up and all around and being just generally festive. It's a festive time of year. But tonight, the tobacco that we are going to have a look at is this, and I know it's in a jar with a piece of tape because I bought it in bulk, and this is basically all it is. But it is Sutliff Christmas Spice. Now, Sutliff Christmas Spice. What can I say about Sutliff Christmas Spice? This tobacco is Cavendish Burley in Virginia, and it is topped with what they say is caramel, cinnamon, and vanilla. So when you get this stuff, it is going to be kind of more along the lines of what I think a lot of people would think of when they think of a seasonal Christmas blend of tobacco. It is oopy doopy, gloopy, shaggy, and scoopy.
Some real grown, groovy, shooby dooby after the movie Shaggy and Scooby, Snoopy Dooby fun.
That didn't work. But anyway, it's a wet, nasty mess. Not to say that describes the tobacco itself, because the tobacco's not that bad. It's just when you first get it, it is very, very wet. Whatever they put on it is wet, kind of oily, kind of sticky. I've let this stuff dry out considerably since I got it, just to make it smokable, because this stuff here, it was so wet. I tried to smoke a bowl or two, and it just wasn't working because it was really, really too wet.
Smacky boo.
Some of the other, like Molto Dolce is kind of the same way. Now, I've smoked this stuff a lot, just straight up out of the tin, brand new, and not had too much trouble. But it's kind of the same thing. It's just really wet, sticky, and nasty. You stick your fingers down in it, and you get this oily stickiness that just, your fingers constantly smell like it for hours after, unless you go wash your hands, which you should be doing anyways, because we're in the midst of a pandemic. Wash your hands. I'm not saying the masks don't work. I'm just saying that washing your damn hands is more effective. So, anyway, political / whatever rant aside, getting back to Christmas Spice. So this stuff here, let's see if I can get somewhat of a decent shot of this. See if I can get my head out of the frame here. This is what you get. So, you can see the Burley, and you can see the Cavendish very much right off the bat. You have to look around in here quite a bit to see any Virginia. I mean, there's Virginia in here. You can see it. It's just, I'm going to say this tobacco is probably like 70, 20, 10, maybe 60, 30, 10, 60% Burley, 30% Cavendish, 10% Virginia. It's my guesstimate on the range of what's in here. And it is very heavily topped. Now, let's just go ahead and get this bowl going here. I am once again smoking it in a corn cob because, hey, some guys have things against cobs. I like cobs. As you can see, I've smoked the crap out of this through the years. And actually, this is about the 17 millionth cob that I've had. Because cobs tend to wear out. But I like to have a couple of them on hand. They're cheap. They're cheap and they smoke great. They rarely gurgle. You can't go wrong. So my impressions of Sutliff Christmas Spice. First impression is you're going to want to let this stuff dry out before you even try to smoke it. I think that if you try to smoke this stuff when it's sopping wet, when you first get it, you're going to have some issues. And when I say dry this out, you're going to want to leave it out for quite a while or stick it in the microwave, like seriously. I mean, some of you guys might just think that's sacrilege to put your tobacco in the microwave, but I'll be honest, it's a really quick way to dry it out, or at least, you know, to reduce some moisture. You just stick a little bit in there for like 10 seconds is all it takes, and it just warms it up, kind of speeds up the process of all the moisture just kind of evaporating out. So that's what I did with this stuff, is stuck it in the microwave. Now I got 5 ounces, and I just did the whole 5 ounces. So I dumped it on this plate, stuck it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, pulled it out, flipped it over, stuck it back in there, and I just kept doing that until it felt more normal, to where I could grab some and not wind up with just tobacco all over my fingers. Now, I still get that to some extent. You know, some of what they put on this is oil-based, I'm sure. You know, it's not all water. So that kind of stuff, you're not going to be able to get that to evaporate, and it's not really going to dry. So for what it is, though, I've got it down to about the right point. But when it comes to smoking this, once you have the moisture content kind of settled down a little bit, for an aromatic tobacco, this is really good. You know, I've always said that Molto Dolce is my guilty pleasure, and this is right along the same veins. The tobaccos are basically the same. Burley, Black Cavendish, and Virginia. Probably in that order, with a topping. Now, on Molto Dolce, the topping is completely different than this one. But the tobaccos themselves are somewhat similar, and so you get kind of sort of the same end result. This stuff, when you smell it, I can't really smell the stuff on this plate. Let me stick my nose in the jar. Now this stuff here, it says caramel, cinnamon, and vanilla as far as the flavorings. And as far as my nose can tell, and as far as what I can pick up through smoking this stuff, I will definitely buy the vanilla. The caramel, yeah, there's a little bit of caramel in there. The cinnamon, maybe not so much. But what it smells like in the jar, and what it smelled like when I was, you know, slowly reducing the moisture content, it smelled like a sugar cookie. I mean, even now, it smells like a sugar cookie, like you'd make, you know, in cookie cutters at Christmas, and you leave a plate for Santa. That's kind of what this crap smells like. I mean, it's a really, really good smell. And the when you smoke it in a room, the room note kind of resembles a little bit of that. So, you know, this is definitely not going to be a stinky tobacco when it comes to smoking it. I don't know if you can hear that. Even now that I've got it dried out, it crackles and pops when you smoke it. But if I would sit here and just smoke it instead of talk, the way that I have it now, it wouldn't have a problem staying lit. The star of the show here is the toppings. There's no two ways around that. I mean, when you smoke this, you're getting that sugary, vanilla-y, cookie-like thing going on. You know, and I think that that's pretty much the purpose of this tobacco, and like this type of a tobacco. You know, you could sit here and say, well, I'm trying to tease out the Burley, or I'm trying to tease out the Cavendish or the Virginia. I think that the thing with this particular blend is that the tobaccos are there. And it's not that they're not present at all. It's just that they're definitely in more of a supporting role in this overall tobacco. Because, you know, like I said, the star of the show is the topping. And the tobaccos are kind of just there to back it all up. Which, if that's what you're going for, and a lot of people really do dig that kind of stuff. If that's what you're going for, that's what this is. All that being said, though, as I smoke it, you can tease out the Burley, and you can tease out the Black Cavendish. The Virginia is in there in such a small quantity that it's almost imperceptible to me, anyway. I mean, it's there, but it's not. So taste-wise, you know, keeping all that in mind, I'd say it's kind of a medium, mild to medium, I suppose. I mean, because there's quite a bit of flavor there, but it's not like over the top anything. I mean, it's not over the top with the toppings. It's not over the top with the strength of the tobacco flavors. It's just kind of, you know, it's just kind of middle of the road. The room note, I'm gonna say, is pleasant to extremely pleasant. You're not gonna have very many people offended by this one. So in a way, I'm almost glad that I bought so much of this, because keeping in mind what it is, you know, when I ordered Christmas tobaccos, this is more what I was expecting. And while it might not be the best out of all of these tobaccos that I'm kind of going through here for this video series, it is the most, how do I put it? It's what I was expecting. It's most similar to what I was expecting to get. You know, like the first two, they turned out to kind of be aromatics, but just very light aromatics, whereas this one is a kind of a heavy, gloopy, aromatic tobacco, and that's what I was expecting. Like, I had expectations of that, so I knew what I was getting into. Kind of like, you know, you go into anything, as long as you know what you're getting into, you don't have that bad of a time. I knew what I was getting into, at least I thought I did, with all of these tobaccos, and this is actually the one that I got out of the 5 that met my expectations. And maybe that's why I find myself enjoying it, because other than that, I mean, it's like Captain Black with a little bit of extra, I don't know, a little bit extra something, a little bit of the extra topping. Just, it's very similar. I mean, it even looks very similar. It smells similar. I don't know, that's probably way off base, but now I already showed you guys, but I'll show you again. As far as the cut goes, see if I can get this guy back up here to where you can see it without me dumping it all over my keyboard. The cut's pretty good. Honestly, the cut is very nice. The only thing is that you got some bigger chunks when it comes to the Cavendish. Let me see if I can pick some of that out of here. Yeah, like the Cavendish, you tend to get some bigger pieces in there, some thicker, meatier pieces, which, you know what, honestly, I don't mind that when it comes to Cavendish. If you're going to put it in there, I actually kind of prefer it that way. But other than that, it's just kind of a nice ribbon cut, and as far as that goes, I've never really had any issues with it, like clogging up my pipes or, you know, getting too compacted or burning too hot. Like, this year I've been chiefing on it now for a little while, and, you know, my pipe is still cool to the touch, so in my mind, if you were to ask me what would Santa Claus be smoking? Or what would Frosty the Snowman be smoking? I would tell you they would be smoking Christmas Spice by Sutliff. It just is the most, out of all these that I've done so far, it is the most Christmassy based on, the smells and the tastes that I'm getting. So, can I recommend this tobacco? So for guys like me, yes, I would recommend Christmas Spice. Now, if you're, I guess this goes with the others, but more strong of a warning. If you don't like aromatic tobaccos, I can pretty much guarantee you will hate this. Don't even waste your money. Don't waste your time. Don't even go there. I mean, unless you're curious. In which case, I would say maybe you don't hate aromatics as much as you think or you say. That being said, this is a heavy, gloopy aromatic. As long as you know what you're getting into, that is manageable, though, because you can dry it out to a point where it is smokable and stays lit and consistent. And, honestly, when you're talking about a blend like this only comes in bulk. So when you're talking about a blend like this, part of me thinks that they do that on purpose because it just sits in a plastic bag, in the back of some shop somewhere until somebody buys it. And so, it has to sit there, and I'm sure that the moisture and humidity in the room is not super controlled. So, when it comes to these bulk tobaccos, this is kind of what you get anyway, because they... I don't even remember where I was. Shite. Alright, guys. Before I was so rudely interrupted, I don't remember what I was talking about now. The train of thought's gone. When I go to edit this video, it'll come back, and I'll wish I would have stopped and gone back to look at it, but that's okay. I think I was talking about the moisture content in a bulk tobacco and how it has to be moist just so that when it gets to you, it isn't, dried out and nasty. So, with all of that, if you're into aromatic tobaccos, you'll be into this. This is pretty nice. I'm gonna say, again, it's not one that I'm gonna smoke a lot. However, it's the closest thing out of these Christmas blends to scratching the McClelland Holiday Spirit itch. And honestly, there's some other tobaccos that I found that I think are maybe a little bit closer, but they're not necessarily holiday blends. They're not Christmas blends. They're not special seasonal blends. So in that respect, I would say Christmas Spirit kind of sort of fills that void in some way for me. And I really liked Holiday Spirit. There's something to be said, even in the summertime. You break out, or at least I used to break out a little bit of Holiday Spirit just to get that feeling of the holidays, and if even just for a few minutes. And this one here, I don't know. I mean, I got quite a bit. This is gonna last me a long time because this is a big jar. It's like a third full, and then I put about that much more on this plate for the video. So I'm gonna have that a while. I certainly do hope that this stuff continues to be made, and it's Sutliff, so I wouldn't imagine that it would go out of stock, but I hope they continue to make it because I am going to continue to order it. When I run out of this, I will resupply, although it's going to take a while for me to run out of this. So that is about all I have for Christmas Spice by Sutliff Tobacco Company. I'm going to finish this pipe and have a cup of coffee, maybe go wrap some Christmas presents. So I'm going to let you guys go. Until next time, right here in the joint, we will see you guys later.